No, do you think it's now a matter of credit? Because Anna Hazare was thanked by Sushma Swaraj, by Rahul Gandhi, because everyone seems to believe that it is your victory, Anna Hazare's victory. Therefore, those who are no longer part of the victory celebration are feeling left out. Is it a case of sour grapes, ma'am?
Do you know what? Getting grace is also by grace. This was grace. It comes by grace. Sometimes you work for it, you lay the foundations for it, but when the time comes to get the trophy or the medal or the yash or upyash, sirf Bhagwan ke haath mein hai. My mother used to tell me, Kiran, your job is only to work the effort. Yash or upyash, Ishwar ke haath mein. Grace also comes by grace. Grace comes by destiny. You have to have grace to have the grace. I think somewhere he put in his effort. He laid the foundation for it. But when it came to now finally achieving it, regretfully he was not there because he chose not to be there. This was as much his achievement. But he chose to separate himself from the achievement. He could have walked up to Anna and say, we've done it, Anna. We've done it. Thank you, Anna, we did it. Because Anna's fast actually kept the clock ticking. Anna had reached the 9th day. It kept the clock. You wouldn't to say Rajya Sabha would have fast forwarded like that? You think Lok Sabha would have fast forwarded?
No, but people in Aam Aadmi Party believe it is because of Kejriwal's victory that the political system has been shaken out of its complacency. That Rahul Gandhi panicked because Kejriwal ended up with 28 seats. They realized that they had to be with the mood on the street, which is why the Lokpal was fast forwarded, not because of Anna's fast.
Arvind could have walked away with 28 seats plus the Lokpal had he joined Anna that day. We got the Lokpal, he got the 28 seats. He could have had 28 seats plus the Lokpal had he joined in and had the grace. As I said, grace comes by grace.
But he clearly believes you are compromised, and those who are in...
Is this a compromise? Where's the compromise? You've got an independent CBI, your selection is independent, you've got an absolute matter of dismissal system, very transparent, you've got the jurisdiction clear, you've got the budget from the Consolidated Fund of India. What else do you don't need any sanctions, and the further amendment which have been coming from Rajya Sabha are laudatory. You've got the May, which means Lokpal need not.
He said, who are the people who will get selected as the Lokpal? They will be picked by the political establishment, and he's accusing the Congress and the BJP of being in cahoots. This is what Prashant Bhushan told me.
If you're looking at only politics, then President of India is a politician. President of India is a politician. Why are we only reporting to President? Speaker is a politician. Don't we think the Speaker is neutral? Then
if you have an anathema for politics, Congress and the BJP are both together in this, and it is their responsibility to save each other's backs.
If you think all politicians are bad, then you too are one of them. So do you mean to say all politicians are bad?
He says he's the change. He argues that he's trying to change this rotten system.
So he's the only change, rest are all rotten?
That's what he believes.
But that's his belief.
What do you think of Kejriwal now doing this government by SMS?
Am I here only to...
No, I'm asking you about this.
No, let's get on to the Lokpal.
Yes.
Am I here only to talk about Kejriwal?
No, but I want to know...
I'm not interested. I'm not here for this interview to justify or...
I'm not interested in justification.
I'm not interested in Kejriwal
But you
anymore.
made a comment.
I'm only in the limited portion. I say, here was Arvind, who could have had 28 seats plus the Lokpal. It is only his own. He chose to deprive himself of...
Why do you think he did it?
I don't ask him. As I said, grace comes by grace. Grace is almighty.
To what extent do you think this Lokpal will help eliminate corruption? Do you think, because Shanti Bhushan said that not even a mouse will go into jail because of this Lokpal?
That is exactly my regret. People like that saying. You mean to say the 4 lordships are just there as onlookers? Do you mean to say the 4 eminent citizens who would be legal experts or others onlookers? To not even, and to be afraid of the mouse because even a mouse can't go? I think whatever you're talking about. You literally have a mini Supreme Court of India against corruption only. 8 people, civilians and judiciary, combined focusing only on anti-corruption. This country for the first time has a mini Supreme Court against corruption.
Would you like to be one of the Lokpal members?
Well, if that's a service, why not? Why not? But I'm not aspiring for it. But it's a great job to be done. It's a great service to be done. But I'm not aspiring for it. Nor am I asking for it. You asked me, it's one of the best things one could do as a national service.
There are those in the Aam Aadmi Party who insinuate, ma'am, that you might be joining the BJP before the general elections.
I'm not joining any political party. If I had to join, I could have joined them. But from
Why didn't you?
Arvind changed. I didn't. Why did Arvind change? Ask him.
Hasn't
Why did
it
I
been
not
a successful change, you think?
Why did I not change?
Has it not been a
No, one
successful change to be inside the system and to try and change it from within?
He changed. Should I also change because he changed? Because when we both got together for the Lokpal, he told me, मैं कभी भी राजनीति में नहीं जाऊंगा. मैंने कहा, इस शर्त पे हम दोनों काम करेंगे. He changed. I didn't. Now, why I didn't change? Because I know myself. Why did he change? I never asked him, why did you change?
No, but do you not think it's been a good change?
No,
the fact that they've changed politics
nobody
in
has
India.
any right to ask me why I didn't change.
But I'm asking you a different question. Do you not think by having entered politics, they've fundamentally changed the narrative? The fact that the BJP is not willing to form a government despite having just 4 seats short of a majority is reflective of the fact that Indian politics is changing, ma'am.
Well, it is changing for the better. Change is the law.
And they believe that Kejriwal is a part of that
change is the law.
By being part of the political system, not outside.
Change is the law. Growth is optional. Choose wisely. We all choose. Change is the law.
But as a citizen of Delhi, ma'am, and I hope you will allow me to ask this question, what do you make of the fact that neither the BJP nor the Aam Aadmi Party have stepped forward to form the next government, and now we're seeing a mini referendum being carried out? Do you think in a representative democracy like ours, going to the public, almost turning this into a Jhalak Dikhla Ja type reality show is the way to go?
Well, these are their beliefs, and they have a right to their own beliefs, and voters have a right to judge them now. So they will have to live by their beliefs. What is making them do this? Only they know. I'm not an insider.
They're saying that this is direct democracy. This is participative democracy. We ask the people whether or not we should do certain things. Do you think it works really well in Switzerland?
But I guess this is what we were doing when we were doing the assessment of the Lokpal. I guess that habit remains. Remember when we were doing a survey on the Jan Lokpal?
Yes.
We were doing that. But that was that time. Is that relevant even now? I do not know.
What do you think?
I think the representatives have already been appointed, and I think they've already got from the people. I think it was time to move on, to my mind. But as I said, I have no business to advise them. No, I'm not an insider, and under what compulsions they're doing it, they alone know.
But is there do you think it's good for a party like the Aam Aadmi Party to be in business with the Congress? Do you think that's a good idea in principle, coming together to form a government like this?
No, I'm not a political pundit, and nor am I here to advise you on this interview. It's for them, because they know what their compulsions are, what is their strategy, how they look ahead, because they've got parliamentary elections coming. So the choice is theirs, and what are the variables they have, they alone know. You and I are nobody to advise them.
Direct democracy or referendums work well in a country like Switzerland. Can they work in an Indian scenario as well, ma'am?
Well, I think this matter needs to be debated.
What's your view?
It needs a debate. Sometimes, maybe not. Like, for instance, should this country move towards a presidential form of government or not? But is the country fully aware of the legalese? What is presidential and what is not? Because most of them still haven't even read the Lokpal Bill. The point is, I think it all depends on the legal education, legal awareness amongst people.
Are you seeing a larger awakening of the Indian middle class? The voice from the street now being heard finally in the corridors of power, and we are seeing Indian netas change and respond to the anger which you, Anna Hazare, Arvind, all of you have had a part in building, in festering, in bringing about that anger and bringing it out into the streets.
Exposure of misdeeds have done it. There's been massive exposure of past corruption through the media, and every day, last 3 years, I think every day we've had a panel discussion on against corruption, or either it's crimes against women or it's corruption. Last 3 years, which I have dedicated to this cause, literally every evening has gone into these kinds of debates. So last 3 years, people have been inundated with this kind of information through the media explosion 24/7. So last 3 years of exposure of misdeeds, whether they came through the CAG, whether they came through RTI, the media has reached to everybody's bedroom. So people are knowing and the Supreme Court judgments, CAG, RTI, activism has played a major role in change of thinking.
Dr. Kiran Bedi, you volunteered to be a part of the new Lokpal. Let's just hope.
No, I have not volunteered.
You've said you're willing to serve.
No, I have not even said willing. I've not said. I said it's a supreme sacrifice. I'm not waiting for it, nor am I volunteered, nor have I asked for it. I am very happy where I am. But if it comes to supreme sacrifice, it's very prestigious. Why would you say no? Why? Because it's not a political assignment. It's not a political post. Remember, it's like a continuity of your Indian police service to an Indian Lokpal service. That's a different. And I'm sure no government servant would ever say, why would I run away from doing such a great job? That's it.
Well, I firmly believe that having a Lokpal is better than not having any Lokpal at all.
Yeah.
And let's just hope incrementally we can move in the direction of reducing the levels of corruption in India. The threshold, of course, has come down. People are far more awakened and aware than they were. For the role that you've played and for joining us on this broadcast, Dr. Kiran Bedi, thank you very much.
Achieving it, regretfully, he was not there because he chose not to be there. This was as much his achievement, but he chose to separate himself from the achievement. He could have walked up to Anna and say, we've done it, Anna. We've done it. Thank you, Anna, we did it. Because Anna's fast actually kept the clock ticking. Anna had reached the... Getting grace is also by grace. This was grace. It comes by grace. Sometimes you work for it. You lay the foundations for it. But when the time comes to get the trophy or the medal or the yash or upyash, sirf Bhagwan ke haath mein hai. My mother used to tell me, Kiran, your 9th day, it kept the clock. You wouldn't to say Rajya Sabha would have fast forwarded like that? You think Lok Sabha would have fast forwarded?
No, but people in Aam Aadmi Party believe it is because of Kejriwal's victory that the political system has been shaken out of its complacency. That Rahul Gandhi panicked because Kejriwal ended up with 28 seats. They realized that they had to be with the mood on the street. No, do you think it's now a matter of credit because Anna Hazare was thanked by Sushma Swaraj, by Rahul Gandhi, because everyone seems to believe that it is your victory, Anna Hazare's victory. Therefore, those who are no longer part of the victory celebration are feeling left out. Is it a case of sour grapes, ma'am?
Do you know what? Job is only to work the effort. Yash or upyash, Ishwar ke haath mein. Grace also comes by grace. Grace comes by destiny. You have to have grace to have the grace. I think somewhere he put in his effort. He laid the foundation for it. But when it came to now finally achieve